Yeah. You know, and one thing I'm not going to do. I pick on so many people. I would say that I'm just going to opt out on the Drake thing because I don't know enough about him, Bobby. But I respect you jumping out there. Now, John, I want to let you conclude. Any commentary that you have?
Well, yeah. To this extent, a lot of people are saying a lot of different things. If, as an individual, you have to pick and choose what sounds and rings right in your heart. Mm-hmm. The information that I've gotten from Drake is different than the information I've gotten from Jones or Ike, for that matter, or Jesse Ventura for that same thing. It's what basically we're looking at is people individually sifting through the information, taking what's right by doing their own research and moving on it. If we sit here and just look and talk about it and talk about other people about who's full of what and that and the other thing, that really doesn't further our liberty. What furthers our liberty is taking action. And action, I've found to Drake is, you look at what laws are on the books and how you can go about to actuate change. You have to put your neck out a little bit, but that's the only way it's going to get done. Yeah. They have to know that behind that, you're willing to put your life on the line.
Right.
And
but
that's essentially.
Can I add something to that? Okay. Because, I mean, sure. As a matter of fact, I want to be held, Bobby, to this same standard right here. If I say something stupid, Bobby, I want you to pick up the phone. I want you to get on air. You want to call me out publicly. If I say something dumb, okay, and I start making weird cockamamie predictions, that you know what? Sometimes I'll make predictions based on what we know about false flags. When you see patterns developing and stuff like that, I've gone so far as to make predictions like that because you can see the patterns that they establish before a false flag. That's why I'll call stuff out like that. But when we start getting into the realm of the David Icke and the reptilian stuff, I saw Jesse Ventura rip David Icke's face off. And David Icke could not withstand that fire. And that's the kind of hocus pocus that I'm talking about, where people are exploited for their vulnerability. I would much rather protect people that are sitting there listening to stupid crap by exposing it. So it's John, right?
Yes.
John, I want you to also apply the same standard, especially to me. If I say something stupid, I want you to call me out. I want to correct myself. But thank you very much for calling in.
You're more than welcome. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot for your kind words. And Tim, Virginia, line 2. You're on the Pete Santilli Show. Tim, from Virginia, you're live on the Pete Santilli Show. What's going on?
Hello. This is Ken in Virginia.
Oh, it is Ken. I'm sorry. It was written down as Tim. So we're going to ask for proper spellings.
Yes. I want to correct one thing that your guest said. He said that Barack Obama's father was a Muslim. Now, what everyone listening to this show needs to know about and also see is the documentary Dreams from My Real Father. We know that the first fake autobiography, Dreams from My Father, of Barack Obama, was not written by him, but it was written by Frank Marshall Davis, who was really a genius, but he was a communist organizer, and he was actually a native-born American, and Barack Obama was born, and I know that Michelle Obama says he was born in Kenya, and I know that there's a...
Are you there? Oop. Ken, Virginia, line 2, are you still there? What do we have? We do, and that's okay. We're actually, it's weird stuff starts happening right now. Do we have Bobby still on the line? Bobby.
I'm here.
Oh, good. Okay, excellent. We had technical difficulties yesterday. Listen, I want you to stay right there. We're going to come back. Actually, we're doing fine. We still have the streams. I almost panicked there for a second because I don't want 2 days in a row. We'll be back right after this message and with Bobby Powell. Don't go away.
Would you like to see who's really hiding behind the green mask of the environmental movement? Are you ready for smart growth and sustainable living? Have you ever heard of Agenda 21? Well, Rosa Corey has, and she wrote a book about it. Agenda 21 is the United Nations blueprint for global domination, and they want to make you their slave. Have you ever wondered what smart growth really is and just how far the global elite will go to get what they want? Is Agenda 21 already at work in your neighborhood? The answer to all your questions can be found by going to thePeteSantilliShow.com and clicking on the Agenda 21 tab at the top of the page. Order your copy of Behind the Green Mask, You and Agenda 21 by Rosa Corey on Amazon.com, and you'll support the efforts of the Pete Santilli Show. Behind the Green Mask blows the lid off the New World Order's plan to rid the planet of everything unsustainable. Read the book and then ask yourself, are you sustainable?
Hi folks, Pete Santilli here. As a prominent social media personality on Facebook and Twitter since they were first launched, I've participated in one-dimensional discussions with literally hundreds of thousands of followers. When I first set up my SecondLife.com account about a year ago, I entered a whole new magical world that brought my social media activity to life. Second Life is much more than just a 3D game or a social media platform. It'll bring your online persona to life in one of the most beautiful virtual reality simulators on the internet. It's free, and besides, it's the best way to listen to the Pete Santilli Show. You can interact with me live as I broadcast daily from the Overthrow Bunker studio. To get your free account, go to any one of our episodes and click on the Second Life banner. Once you're in, we'll give you the grand tour of our newly built Camp FEMA, the very first educational tool of its kind anywhere in the world. For a limited time, if you sign up for a new SecondLife.com account, we'll give you a priceless welcome package. SecondLife.com. Join now, tune in, and connect with your friends at the Pete Santilli Show.
Do you owe the IRS more than $10,000? Well, it happens to the best of us. Just ask Charlie.
I was a pro NFL player, defensive back. Yes, I did get a letter from the IRS.
It's a scary thing, even for a big man like Charlie.
Well, man, when you see those dreaded letters, capital IRS, $60,000, man, you almost drop to your knees. You know, they were trying to levy my accounts, garnish me, real bad situation.
Charlie found out about the law offices of Craig Zimmerman.
I heard their commercial on the radio. I said, well, hey, let me give them a call. It was like talking to my brother, talking to a great friend. I called Craig Zimmerman, and they put a stop to it.
You'll love the way they do business.
Like we say in the NFL, they never dropped the ball. They did a great job for me.
You may be able to significantly reduce your tax debt. Call the law offices of Craig Zimmerman and get your game plan. 800-638-0727.
Craig Zimmerman, they threw a touchdown for me.
Call now and find out how much you can save. 800-638-0727. 800-638-0727.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm joined by Bobby Powell. Bobby Powell. He's a YouTuber. He's a true patriot in my book, former United States Marine. And you know what, Bobby, we're going to take one more caller here who's been kind enough. Irene on line 57. You're live on the Pete Santilli Show.
Yeah, I just like to say that we're at the beginning of the tribulation. And Israel just opened up a big old can of worms. They opened up the gates of hell. And, Gaza, people in Gaza being backed up in the corner. We got, I guess, some boats going over there to, probably get them out of there. And this is all due to a land grab.
Yeah.
And they're after Iran's land.
Irene,
Iran does not have a centralized banking. Yeah, go ahead.
Irene, hold on a second. I'm outnumbered here, but I do respect both of your opinions. I want you guys to educate me. All right, this is my
okay.
Just out of curiosity, honest to goodness, I'm not attacking religion. I want you guys to convince me, the two of you, and I'm going to go to Bobby first. Bobby, who wrote the Bible? Who wrote the Bible, and who's to say that they weren't trying to mess with us?
Well, okay. We're talking about guys that lived 2,500, 3,500 years ago, back in the Bronze Age, okay? How could they possibly know the names of the nations that were going to attack Israel? Like, for example, in Ezekiel, the guy that wrote that was named Ezekiel, by the way.
Right.
And he names every single nation that's coming against Israel right now. He names Persia, which is, of course, Iran, Libya, and Sudan, and Syria, and Lebanon, and Russia. He said that Russia will be pulled in like it's got a hook in its jaw. In other words, the Russians really don't want to get in this fight, but they're going to be pulled into it. Okay, now in reference to Gaza, it says in Zechariah 9, verse 5, Ashkelon will see it and fear. That's talking about the missiles that are falling right now. Gaza shall also see it and be very sorrowful. And Ekron, for her expectation, shall be shamed, and the king shall perish from Gaza, and Ashkelon shall not be inhabited. So, and it talks other places about the plains of Aroer being destroyed. That's the area of northern Jordan. So whether these guys 3,500 years ago got a vision from God, which I happen to believe, or if people don't believe in God, then they have to accept the fact that the Bible is being used as a playbook, because everything in the Ezekiel 38-39 prophecy is coming to pass right now. We can see it in the headlines every single day.
Right. Now you're saying, I'm sorry to interrupt you, okay? And I'm going to go back to Irene. But just like you said, it could be possibly used as a playbook. This stuff was written down. The Bible was written by man. Everybody says, now, Irene, I'm going to ask you this question. Is there a possibility that this Bible could have been written by men that understand that people are easily manipulated by what they're writing in that book?
Oh, yeah. I believe parts and pieces have been taken out. Yeah. Parts and pieces have been put in there for the Zionists to use and to scare people and to manipulate. And Yeshua said it right there. You know, he pointed right at them and said, "You are not from my Father." And right there, I back him up. I don't back up man. I back him up because, you know, he threw them out of the temple too because they want to sit there and exchange money. Who were they? They're the same people we're dealing with right now. They're the same people we're dealing with in 1929 with the Dust Bowl. There was an American Holocaust right there. They put a bunch of people on rail cars. They took them out in the middle of the desert, and they left them there to die. There's like 3 million people that happened to. There's no diaries, no journals. None of these people, what happened to them? They just disappeared. So we look back, and history will always repeat itself, always. And, you know, it's doing it right now. We have to trust. We have to trust into our Creator and however people believe in. But what's being done to, you know, the people in Palestine and the people even in Iran and Syria, and what happened to Gaddafi? Gaddafi was a good guy. He gave $50,000 to newlyweds. He was in a tent. He vowed to his father he would not have a roof over his head unless everybody did. Medical was free. Gas was 14 cents a gallon. I could go on and on about him. Right. And what happened to him, the same thing happened to Hitler. The same thing. Yeah. We went over there and we bombed Germany. We bombed it to hell. We destroyed it. The German people, they didn't deserve that. They were really good to the Jews. They put them in a camp out in the forest. They had their own currency. They were free to go back and forth. They had a theater there. They had a swimming pool there. What's being said is the same thing. You know, we're being manipulated by evil, evil people. These people are the bloodline of Cain. He was not the son of Adam. Satan got with Eve and produced Cain. Seth and Abel was the descendant of Adam. That was their father. Irene. And those are the true Israelites, the true Hebrews. Yeah, so we have to distinguish that. And what's going on right now, hell has been opened up.
Irene.
And I believe, you know, like you saying leaving and stuff, I'm on my phone with my dad every day. Dad, that wasn't a drone in Indiana. Dad, you got to listen to what Pete's saying right now. Jump on there and listen. And, you know, I'm here talking.
Yeah. Irene,
because,
you know what?
This is what I do all day. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. And if I could hug you right now, I would do that. I really appreciate your insight. Okay. Seriously. Thank you so much. I'm going to go back to Bobby, okay? Because I want him to respond.
Go ahead.
I know he's got now, Bobby, I believe that the Bible is a good history book. There were people that wrote things down way back when. So historically, I think it's very significant. But some of that stuff that is prophetic, I believe to be almost self-fulfilling prophecies. As we go back and everyone's so focused on reading that Bible to see how things are going to materialize, I think they're using some of this, especially to get us all whipped up to go fight for Israel.
Well, one thing that I find very interesting about the Jewish nation in general is that they are the only nation in the history of mankind that has been kicked out of their homeland, and they've maintained their identity. Normally, when people are conquered, they are either absorbed into the conquering society or they're killed. Now, the Jewish people have been kicked out of their land 3 times. This last time, Titus kicked them out back in 70 AD, and they haven't been back since. Now, for 2,000 years, they maintained their identity as the Jewish people because God was punishing them. Now, back in the day, they were sacrificing their children to stone god statues of owls called Moloch. Same thing that you find out at Bohemian Grove now with our government.
Right.
Richard Nixon said it was the most faggy goddamn thing he'd ever seen in his life, and I happen to agree. But while I'm thinking about it, the young lady brought up about what happened to Libya. She and everybody else is going to be very interested in watching a show that I produced last year. Ironically, on September 11th, 2011, it's titled on YouTube, TTIV-Libya, The Real Story. And I, explain how the CIA put and MI6 and NATO and the Gulf Cooperation Council put all the al-Qaeda terrorists into Libya to overthrow Muammar Gaddafi. And I did highlight all the things that he had done. That man was no longer a threat. He had given up terrorism years ago. He'd given up his weapons of mass destruction, which, by the way, was the reason that NATO gave for intervening in Libya. They said that he was going to use chemical weapons on the Libyan people, these so-called protesters. Well, they weren't protesters. They were al-Qaeda terrorists, and they were being sponsored by NATO, and they were being protected. And I'll tell you one other thing. That whole story was a lie, because in that episode, Libya, The Real Story, I have an interview with an official NATO spokesman, and he told me that NATO knew. He told me on the record that NATO knew that Muammar Gaddafi had nothing weaponized as far as chemical weapons. Mm-hmm. He could not have attacked those protesters with chemical weapons if he wanted. Now, the reason, the week after that, I published an episode of my show called 20,000 Missiles Stolen from Libyan Armories Used to Attack Israeli Civilians. Now, in the aftermath of this coup, this NATO-sponsored coup of Muammar Gaddafi's government, these al-Qaeda terrorists that we had put in there stole 20,000 missiles, the man-pad, shoulder-fired Stinger-type missiles from Libyan armories. 2 weeks later, they were being used to shell Israeli towns. In that episode, I've got video from Islamic Jihad showing them shooting these missiles from a Libyan truck that they had driven across northern Africa, across Egypt, and Egyptian border guards led them right in there to Gaza. And now we've got Libyan missiles in Gaza firing at Israel.
Who do you think? Hold on a second. Wait. Who do you think negotiated that deal? To get
Christopher Stevens.
Christopher Stevens negotiated that deal to give the arms to the people that were firing them into Israel, correct?
Well, what he did, Christopher Stevens, when he went back to Benghazi on September 11th this last time, he was in Turkey, or he had met with the Turkish ambassador. His mission while he was in Benghazi was to get a hold of these missiles from the al-Qaeda group in Libya. It's called Ansar al-Sharia, and transfer them to the al-Qaeda groups in Syria. But the guys in Libya didn't want to give them up.
Yeah, you're right. Hold that thought, okay?
Okay.
What great guest. Great caller. Irene, thank you so much for calling in, okay? If you're there, she's already dropped off. Irene, great caller. If you can hear me, I loved your contribution to the show. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm with Bobby Powell. I'm going to keep him for this discussion because I'm just absolutely, not just fascinated, but so concerned about what's happening. So many complexities. Our world is in such a mess, and the Americans are just going to Taco Bell to the drive-thru.
Would you like to see who's really hiding behind the green mask of the environmental movement? Are you ready for smart growth and sustainable living? Have you ever heard of Agenda 21? Well, Rosa Koire has, and she wrote a book about it. Agenda 21 is the United Nations blueprint for global domination, and they want to make you their slave. Have you ever wondered what smart growth really is and just how far the global elite will go to get what they want? Is Agenda 21 already at work in your neighborhood? The answer to all your questions can be found by going to thepetesantillishow.com and clicking on the Agenda 21 tab at the top of the page. Order your copy of Behind the Green Mask, You and Agenda 21 by Rosa Koire on Amazon.com, and you'll support the efforts of The Pete Santilli Show. Behind the Green Mask blows the lid off the New World Order's plan to rid the planet of everything unsustainable. Read the book and then ask yourself, are you sustainable?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to tell you about a revolutionary new product from our sponsor, Elixir Liquid. It's called an electronic cigarette. If you're a smoker and you're sick and tired of killing yourself and those around you, you really need to check out this product, Elixir Liquid and Electronic Cigarette. Traditional cigarettes have over 4,000 chemicals, along with 65 known carcinogens, and are being sold for up to $11 a pack in some places around the country. Electronic cigarettes, on the other hand, consist of only 3 ingredients and are a fraction of the price of traditional cigarettes. An electronic cigarette, or e-cigarette, consists of a rechargeable battery, a small heating element called an atomizer, and liquid nicotine. When used, the e-cigarette will produce what looks like smoke, but it's actually a harmless water vapor while giving you the nicotine your body is craving. That's right, you can finally get all the nicotine you need without all the harmful chemicals associated with smoking. If you've ever tried to quit smoking, or if you tried one of those overpriced, low-quality electronic cigarettes being sold in the mall and were less than impressed, you need to visit our sponsor, Elixir Liquid, at www.futuresmokes.com today. That's www.futuresmokes.com. Once you're there, you'll find the hottest electronic cigarettes and accessories and over 100 choices of intensely flavored liquid nicotine. That's right, Elixir Liquid is known for their mind-blowing, handcrafted liquid nicotine. So if you're already an e-smoker, be sure to check these guys out. No tar, no carcinogens, and no foul odors. The electronic cigarette truly is the future of smoking. So stop killing yourself and those around you and try an electronic cigarette from Elixir Liquid today. And fans of the Pete Santilli Show can get a special 10% discount with coupon code REVOLT at checkout. That's www.futuresmokes.com.
Thank you so much for joining me. I'll tell you what, I've enjoyed your presence so far. This is not going to be the last time I'm bringing you to the show, but in this last 5 minutes, okay, I want you to just kind of I want you to speak to our listeners a little bit more about yourself, about what you believe we need to be focused on. What we need to have our eye on the ball right now. Right now is a very critical time. Don't you agree?
Just got done with having an interview with an ex-CIA spy by the name of Reza Khalili. And
did you really?
Yeah, and he was embedded in the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, and he's still got contacts within the regime. He's an Iranian Christian, and he's fighting the mullahs over there. And here's what he told me. He told me that the Iranians already have 2 nuclear weapons that they bought from Tajikistan after the Soviet Union fell, and that they've been also pursuing their own enrichment. And he says that they've got enough uranium already for 6 bombs. Now, here's what's going to happen. They don't need accurate targeting data or intercontinental ballistic missiles like the Russians have in order to destroy this country. The Iranians have said that intend to attack the United States if hostilities with Israel break out. And, brother, I'm here to tell you that they're about to break out. Now, what they're going to do, Reza told me that they've got 40,000 IRGC agents stationed in the United States, across Europe, and down in South and Central America in order to create chaos. And that's going to happen. But it's also going to happen with what I believe is going to be a nuclear attack on the United States, not in the form of attack on a city, but in the form of an electromagnetic pulse. Now, what the Iranians have been practicing launching their Scuds from container ships in the Caspian Sea. They have a secret missile base in Venezuela. All this is documented in that latest episode of my show, which is on YouTube and on bobpowell.blogspot.com. And we're using mainstream sources now to document this. And when the Iranians have the capability, and all they've got to do is launch a nuke 250 miles above the United States and detonate it, and everything within the line of sight, all the microchips within the line of sight of that detonation are going to fry. Just like that show Revolution that's on TV right now. All the electrical power is gone. You won't be able to pump gas. Even if you could pump gas, your car's not going to start. There aren't going to be any more deliveries to the grocery stores. You won't be able to pump water. Dr. Peter Vincent Pry, who's scheduled to be a guest on my show in the next couple of weeks, says that up to 90% of the population of the United States will die as a result of starvation and disease like cholera and other waterborne diseases like that, because there is no fresh water. I mean, think about any large city like Chicago or Detroit. What happens when the water stops flowing? You know how long it takes to survive without water? 3 days, right?
That's right.
Well, there will be no more water coming out of your tap. There aren't going to be any ambulances responding to heart attacks, no fire trucks responding to fires. So the cities are going to burn. People are going to be leaving the cities in droves. And that's why I believe that the Department of Homeland Security has recently bought 1.6 billion rounds of ammunition. There's going to be a massive wave of civil unrest in this country when people find out that they can no longer feed their children. The cities are going to become prison camps. And I've got news for them. There are a lot more of us than there are of them. And if you turn your guns on the American people, we're going to take them away from you, and we're going to take that 1.6 billion rounds of ammunition, we're going to shove it right up your corporate asses.
That's right. Can I ask you some very serious question?
Absolutely.
So, being that Iran has a nuclear weapon, okay, and I want to say this as neutrally as possible. Don't read into this question. I just want to hear your response to this because I'm intrigued by your position. But shouldn't that be incentive to not launch an attack against Iran if they say that they're going to use it?
Absolutely not.
No. Okay.
No, the Iranian. Now, I'm not speaking about Iranian people in general. The Iranian people are the most westernized of any Muslim country. They really do love the United States. It's the mullahs in charge of Iran that are the problem, and they need to go because they have a theology. It's called 12er Shia Islam. They believe that when they start enough trouble, when there's enough blood and chaos on the earth, that the Islamic Messiah, the 12th Imam, the Imam Mahdi, will come back and supernaturally destroy Israel and protect them against any kind of attack. And whether we believe it or not doesn't make any difference, brother. They believe it.
I've heard that term before.
They think that they're going to win. And, it's that old story, if God be for us, who can be against us? Well, these guys are true religious nut jobs. A lot of people think that Christians are, but these guys want to bring about the end of the world. Christians look forward to Christ returning and saving us, but these guys want to make it happen. Yeah. You can't force God's timetable. I'm sorry, that's just wrong.
That's right. Hey, Bobby, here's the deal. All right, this is what I'm going to do. I've loved your visit here. I'm going to promote your site. I'm going to send people. You're very, very knowledgeable. This is not going to be the last time you're going to come on my show. All right, I'm going to have you back, but we're out of time.
It was my pleasure, man.
Semper Fi, dude.
Hoorah.
Okay. Yeah, hoorah. That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, great guest. Honest to goodness, great guest. You already see that. Go to his site, check him out, check out his YouTube videos. He's contributing as much as he can to this revolution. Don't go away. We'll be back right after this message.
Now, in the next few weeks, I'm going to have Dr. Chuck Missler. We're trying to get Dr. Peter Vincent Pry on from the Electromagnetic Pulse Commission. If anybody knows what kind of a nightmare we're faced with, it's that man. So stay tuned. Make sure that you support this channel. Spread these videos everywhere you go. Put it on Twitter, put it on Facebook, Reddit, dig it, tumble it, you know, whatever crazy means of sharing information that you might have. And if you have the ability, please go to bobpowell.blogspot.com and throw me a donation, because I am in desperate need of a new computer. This one is on its last legs, and if it goes, I will have no way of continuing this show. So I need your help in every way possible. We're all in this together, my friends. It's a big crap sandwich, and we're all going to have to take a bite. But hopefully with your help, maybe we can save a few lives.
And now, broadcasting live from deep inside the bunker at FEMA Region 9 is your host, Pete Santilli, telling you the truth, whether you like it or not.
Okay, I'm going to go to Tim from Michigan on line 1 for a quick call, and then I have final comments here. What's going on, Tim?
This guy called a couple weeks ago about the $43 trillion lawsuit. No, we won't go there. I know we got a lot to cover. I wanted to throw a few things at you real quick. First, thanks for having Bob on. Bob's a great guy. I've been following him for a while. Hold on one second. You have one question, dude. Go ahead and make it worth your while. Go ahead. I've got a quick statement. She just said, Susan was talking about the Jewish people and they don't believe Jesus is the Messiah. There was a rabbi, Yajha Kaduri, who died in 2006, who had predictions. His last prediction was to be read a year after his death. When you read that prediction, the prediction was Jesus was the Jewish Messiah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Tim.
Think about
it. You know?
Have a great one.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. But here's the thing. I'm going to have the final word on that. I think that that's all hocus pocus, okay? Predictions and the year after you open up the envelope, the great Karnak, and you know what? It's all smoke and mirrors and hocus pocus, all right? That's magical, mystical thing that takes place generally, and this is what I think. Now, am I a spiritual person? Absolutely. I am a spiritual person. I have a direct relationship with God. God hasn't come to me and revealed anything, so I just want to stay close to him. Other than that, most of the stuff that you see has been created by man to whip stuff up, to get a bunch of people to follow them. And I'm sick and tired of it, okay? I'm sick and tired of being skull-plugged, as I say it, okay? I'm going to tell you in these remaining moments what I represent on this show and what I represent for each second that I'm left here on the planet. I'm going to take every second and I'm going to spend it doing the following: sharing with you the truth as I know it. As I know it. I don't care if it offends the Israelis. I don't care if it offends the Christians. I don't care if it offends. I mean, you have all these groups, okay? I say, take your key club, okay, and your membership dues and all the money you guys are collecting, and you can shove it up your you-know-what. I'm sick and tired of watching people die. I'm not going to give my life for some military-industrial complex. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. If I need to do the negotiations in order to stop people from losing their lives, I even have people contacting me saying, oh, there's just too many people on the planet. You know, it's unsustainable. You know, and I got these people coming at me. I'm going to bring this one guy who absolutely insists on telling me that we've got too many Mexicans coming over the border. Really? Okay. I'm going to have him on the show. If you insist on coming on to tell me that our immigration is unsustainable, I'm going to have a discussion with you about that. It's all to serve a special interest, and in most cases, doesn't serve the human beings that are left here on the planet. You have sons, daughters, grandchildren, mothers, fathers, people that are basically expendable to the people that I want us to go after. And I don't want them to have access to this weapons technology. I want to take it out of their hands. Why? Because they won't hesitate to kill some guy that comes forward about Star Wars. He wants to save the planet on behalf of his grandchild. What do? They kill him. Breitbart wants to expose Barack Obama. What do? They kill him. John F. Kennedy wants to change our currency. What do? They kill him. Muammar Gaddafi wants to do some, he wants to dress everybody up in Libyan diapers and set them on fire. And what do? They kill him. Everyone's running around killing everyone, but I'm supposed to just mind my own business and sit in the corner? You kidding me? How about if we just start killing people for, I don't know, for the sake of all humanity? How about that? How about for the good people? Am I allowed to say that? No, I'm not allowed to say that. I'll tell you what, though. Do you have a problem with what I say? Come freaking get me.